Flying used to mean freedom, real freedom. You saved up, bought a modest airplane, paid reasonable fuel prices, tied it down at a local field, and you were in the air on your own terms. Today, that same dream is quietly turning into something else entirely. Not a luxury, but a trap for the middle class that still believes aviation is within reach. Look at the numbers. A basic 4-seat trainer that once cost the equivalent of a family car now costs as much as a house in many parts of the country. A used Cessna 172 that sold for $40,000 in the early 2000s routinely lists for $120,000 to $180,000 today, often with 40-year-old wiring and engines close to TBO. That's not innovation. That's inflation, mixed with scarcity and speculation. Maintenance tells an even harsher story. A simple annual inspection that once cost a few $1,000s can now easily exceed $6,000 or $8,000 without finding anything wrong. One cracked exhaust, one aging magneto, one AD you didn't plan for, and suddenly the bill jumps into 5 figures. These are not luxury upgrades. These are mandatory costs, just to stay legal. Hangars? In many parts of the US and Canada, they're no longer infrastructure. They're investment assets. Speculators buy them, sit on them, and rent them back to pilots at rates that rival apartment leases. At some airports, pilots wait years for a hangar while paying rising tie-down fees and watching their airplanes deteriorate outdoors. Freedom doesn't come with a waiting list, but flying now does. Fuel used to be predictable. Today, avgas prices swing wildly, often disconnected from logic. You can cross one state line and pay $2 more per gallon. Sustainable alternatives are promised every year, yet the cost burden always lands on the pilot first. Airlines hedge fuel. GA pilots absorb it. Then there's insurance. Older pilots, especially retirees, are being quietly priced out. Even with clean records and thousands of hours, premiums rise simply because of age. Some are denied coverage altogether unless they log mandatory training, mentoring hours, or accept massive deductibles. Safety matters. But when the system treats experience as risk, something is broken. Training hasn't escaped either. Flight schools charge airline-level rates for aging trainers. Instructors burn out chasing hours. Students take longer to finish, not because flying is harder, but because affordability stretches timelines. What used to be a year-long journey now takes 3, sometimes 4 years. Many quit halfway, buried in sunk costs. Manufacturers often get a free pass, but they shouldn't. New GA aircraft are marketed as lifestyle products, not transportation tools. Touchscreens multiply, prices soar, and simplicity disappears. A modern, entry-level airplane costs more than many homes did when today's senior pilots first learned to fly. That's not progress. That's exclusion. So here's the uncomfortable question. Who is flying actually for now? Because it's no longer designed for the middle-class pilot who values independence, utility, and skill. It's increasingly shaped for institutions, investors, and those who can absorb endless recurring costs without blinking. And yet, people keep buying in, because flying still represents something powerful: identity, achievement, escape. That emotional pull is strong, and the system knows it. When costs rise, pilots cut elsewhere. When access shrinks, they adapt. And that's exactly why the pressure continues. But should it? At what point do we stop accepting this as just the way it is and start asking harder questions about regulation, manufacturing, infrastructure, and access? Is general aviation being protected or slowly harvested? Think about your own experience. What surprised you the most once you actually ran the numbers? Was it maintenance, insurance, hangars, or fuel? And more importantly, do you think this trend is reversible, or is GA quietly becoming something the middle class can only watch from the fence? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Not complaints, real experiences. Because if pilots don't talk about this openly, the future of flying will be decided without us.